What if I told you that a 1400-year-old religious text contains scientific facts that were only discovered centuries later? Facts about embryology, astronomy, and the origins of life, so precise they've left scientists speechless. This isn't fiction. This is the Quran. Why are top scientists and even the Vatican stunned by this book? Let's dive in. In 1970, the Vatican issued a groundbreaking document titled Orientations for a Dialogue Between Christians and Muslims. It called for a critical examination of prejudices against Islam and admitted past injustices. The Vatican even affirmed that Allah is the same God worshipped by Christians and Jews, a fact often misunderstood in the West. Why did the Vatican apologize? Because the Quran's scientific accuracy forced a reckoning. The Quran speaks of the embryo's development, the water cycle, and cosmic expansion, centuries before scientists confirmed them. How could an illiterate man in the desert know these details? The answer will shock you. Critics claim Muhammad copied the Bible, but the Quran corrects biblical errors. Even the Hadiths, prophets' sayings, contain scientific errors, but the Quran, zero contradictions. If the Quran wasn't divine, how did it avoid the scientific mistakes of its time? French scientist Dr. Maurice Bucaille was stunned. He compared the Quran to the Bible, expecting myths. Instead, he found no errors in the Quran's science. His conclusion? It's inconceivable for a human in the 7th century to know these facts.
Have you ever wondered why the Quran stands out among other religious books? What has led such a skeptical scholar, raised in a Christian environment, to reach this conclusion? Watch until the end of the video. The answer will surprise you. If you've enjoyed the video so far, be sure to subscribe to our channel so we can watch the rest of the video together.
The Quran's authenticity is unique compared to other religious texts. Unlike the Old Testament and the Gospels, which underwent alterations before being handed down to us, the Quran was written during the time of the Prophet Muhammad. This makes it distinct because the Quran was written down as it was revealed rather than being passed down through many generations with possible changes. Many argue that a 7th century text like the Quran is more likely to have stayed intact than older texts like the Old Testament or the Gospels. While this is true, it doesn't fully explain why the Quran remained unchanged. The issue is more about the process of transmission and preservation, which was more rigorous for the Quran than for earlier texts. For example, the Old Testament had many authors and underwent revisions over time, leading to inaccuracies and contradictions. Similarly, the Gospels were not written by direct witnesses of Jesus' life, and their authenticity is also questioned because they were written long after his death. In contrast, the Quran was written and memorized by the Prophet's companions during his lifetime, ensuring a high level of authenticity. Another important distinction is between the Quran and the Hadiths, records of the Prophet's sayings and actions. Hadiths were written down after the Prophet's death and required careful scrutiny to ensure their accuracy. The Quran, on the other hand, was recorded during Muhammad's lifetime. Both written and memorized by his followers, it was preserved from any human errors that might have crept in during transmission. The Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad over 20 years, starting in 610 CE with the first verses of Surah 96. The initial revelation emphasizes the importance of writing and learning, which is why the Prophet and his followers took great care to preserve the text. By the time the Prophet left Makkah for Medina in 622 CE, parts of the Quran had already been written down. Several verses in the Quran refer to its writing, such as Surah 80, Surah 85, and Surah 56. These verses mention the leaves or records that were written down, showing that the Quran was being preserved in written form during Muhammad's life. After the Prophet's death in 632 CE, his successor, Abu Bakr, ordered that the Quran be collected into a single written form. This task was given to Zayd ibn Thabit, one of Muhammad's scribes. Zaid compiled the Quran by consulting those who had memorized it and comparing various written fragments. This compilation ensured that the Quran was preserved accurately. Later, the third caliph, Uthman, 644 to 656 CE, made a final standardized version of the Quran, which was distributed across the Islamic world. Uthman's recension aimed to preserve the text's purity as Islam expanded rapidly, especially in regions where Arabic was not the native language. Today, all known copies of the Quran are identical, with only minor variations that do not affect the overall meaning. The text has been meticulously preserved over time, and despite some minor differences in early copies, the Quran has remained remarkably unchanged. It is also important to note that the Quran was compiled during the Prophet's lifetime. The Prophet showed his companions the written scrolls of the Quran, which were copied and distributed after his death. Notably, Imam Ali, due to his close relationship with the Prophet, is said to have collected the Quran with detailed notes, providing context for each verse's revelation. However, due to political conditions after the Prophet's death, the full benefits of Imam Ali's version were not realized.
Based on the documented evidence and reasons we've examined so far, it becomes somewhat clear that the authenticity of the Quran has been preserved. The preservation of the Quran by the followers of the Prophet leads us to a greater certainty that the Quran we have today is very close to the divine revelation.
The creation of the heavens and earth in the Quran. Differences from the biblical description. Unlike the Bible, the Quran does not give a single continuous account of creation. Instead, it mentions different aspects in various verses across different chapters. Some people claim the Quran's description is similar to the Bible's, but there are key differences. 1. 6 periods, not 6 days. The Bible describes creation in 6 literal days, followed by a day of rest, Sabbath. The Quran uses the word yaum, day, but it can also mean a long period or era. Example, a day whereof the measure is 1,000 years. Quran 32:5. Example, a day whereof the measure is 50,000 years. Quran 74. Many scholars, including Yusuf Ali, interpret these as long stages, not 24-hour days. 2. No fixed sequence of creation. The Quran does not always mention the creation of the heavens and earth in the same order. Sometimes earth is mentioned first, e.g. 24. Sometimes heavens first, e.g. 7:54. Unlike the Bible, the Quran does not strictly say earth was created before the heavens or vice versa. 3. The universe was once a single mass. The heavens and earth were joined together, then we separated them. Quran 21:30. He turned to the heaven when it was smoke. Quran 41:11. This matches modern science. The universe began as a hot, dense gas, cosmic smoke, that expanded and split. 4. Multiple heavens and earths. The Quran mentions 7 heavens, e.g. 67:3, but 7 in Arabic can mean many. It also says, God created 7 heavens and of the earth, a similar number, Quran 65:12, suggesting multiple worlds. 5. Creation between the heavens and earth. The Quran refers to things between the heavens and earth, e.g. 25:59. Modern science confirms the existence of interstellar matter, gas, dust, between galaxies. Scientific comparisons. The Quran's description of a gaseous, smoke-like early universe matches the Big Bang theory. The idea of multiple heavens aligns with modern astronomy's discovery of countless galaxies. The separation of heavens and earth resembles the formation of planets from a cosmic cloud.
As a result, some people express the opinion that the Quran has been copied from the Bible. I must say that the Quran's perspective on creation is significantly different. from that of the Bible, and has astonishingly aligned with science. If you've watched the video up to this point, I must say that you are eager to know how to live in this world and how to exist. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our future research.